Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekly news harvest. And today we have a special theme. We're going to discuss the fines that are happening across the globe. And the really first topic today is really interesting news from United Kingdom because Bank of England fines Vocalink over the compliance failure. And actually, it's a pretty big amount. They has been fined for $11.9 million after missing the deadline to fix the problem in its risk management framework.
If this gave you something practical to think about, don't let's stop it here. Subscribe for more episodes that go beyond the buzzwords, leave a comment with your perspective, and share this with someone who builds, not just watches. Let's keep fintech honest, sharp, and useful.
And for our listeners, a little bit more background information. When we're talking about the banking rails in United Kingdom, one of the biggest player, which is subsidiary of MasterCard, Vocalink provides the payment infrastructure across the country, implementing the faster payment and actually the settlements between the banks are happening in this unique and monopoly service. So, Dima, hello. What do you think about that?
Hello, Igor. It's absolutely interesting what's happening because Vocalink is, the central bank in 2021 directed Vocalink to address identified weaknesses in its system, and the deadline was something in February 22. Seems like they missed a lot of deadlines. They missed a lot of things that happened. We don't know. Unfortunately, the official statement is very sec. It's like just a small phrase and that's
Right.
it. That yeah, it's dry and it's we unfortunately we don't know what's happening, but we observed with you, and we were talking before recording this harvest, that this week is a week of fines and penalties around the globe, especially in the United Kingdom. It's a hit on MasterCard, by sure, because it's Vocalink is a MasterCard owned company, by the way. So MasterCard is the owner of this company, and because of this, it's a signal that not everything can be good in MasterCard and maybe in other international payment systems, because it means that this company failed to fulfill and to comply to an effective risk management framework. Management framework in such companies like Vocalink it means that they can a lot of security threatness, starting from small one like inefficient KCKB procedures, and ending with big technical risk and technical security risk, which can, provide big deficiencies in controls, in governance, in escalation process. We have to understand that this topic is so complex that sometimes we don't know and because we don't know the details, sometimes it can appear that something is super bad. Maybe there is just some problems in escalation process. Maybe there are some problems in risk assessment. But yeah, usually such big fines are not given just for scaring people around.
And in this case, MasterCard owns 97% of the institution. Actually, other percentage belongs to Barclays, Nationwide, Building Society, and Santander. So banks are also involved in this infrastructure. And actually, it facilitates the faster payment service. So when you think about the real-time payments in United Kingdom, which is driving economy, and it's similar to SEPA payments in the European Union, actually it's implemented on top of Vocalink. And usually we tend to think that it's pretty modern and allows like to do the changes here and there in startup mode. Those projects doesn't work like that. Usually it requires pretty specific hardware, pretty specific integration, different security measurements. So it's a big shift, and I think it's big news this week that actually Vocalink was fined, and it shows that a regulator has a lot of appetite to stress test the infrastructure, maybe taking into account that potentially European Union is under the threat over the digital operations from other countries, like trying to hack and burn something. So maybe that's what we see is making sure that all the parts of the country business operations and day-to-day life is protected with that.
Yeah, we just have to make a small disclaimer that it's only our opinion that this can be the real reason why, but it's not about the conspiracy theories. It's more because me and Iger, we see some patterns that's happening around, and we think that not everything is happening only for. I mean, everything happens for a reason. But yeah, let's move to a second news, also in
Yeah,
UK, also with a fine.
yeah,
It's something around 21 million pounds. And now we are speaking about Monzo. So Britain's financial regulator has fined Monzo with 21 million pounds. And I will try to read the official state. I'll read the official statement, and the official statement says, for inadequate protection against financial crime, which included taking on customers who had listed landmarks such as Buckingham Palace as their address. I met in the last 2 months a lot of partners and the companies with whom I'm working saying they are having a lack of KAC visibility. The KAC process is not very well established in their companies, and they are worried about the fact that they need to make to deep dive into KAC process. They need to invest money, and they're thinking about how to attract new specialists, even if the situation in those companies are not so bad comparison with the news we just read. And when you as a customer can insert the address as Buckingham Palace were, and you have a landmarks, it shows how the KC is. So the KC at this company is quite a weak point. I mean, quite a big weak point, and it potentially raises the question: it's on the only one weak point in these procedures, in these products, or there's something else? Because Monza grew very rapidly. They also received some fines in 2018. They also received some fines in 2020. It's not the first time, and it seems like their business model sometimes can go like, okay, maybe we know about the problem, but we are focusing on something else, on rapid growth, for example. And when we will get the fine, then we'll take care about an issue or a problem.
yeah. And just to make sure for everyone visibility, Monzo is already a full retail
Yes.
bank. It means that they hold in the full license. It's not MEI. And usually you tend to think like those bank institutions are well covered. And it's a pretty unique case when the regulator comes and says, you need to do better with the onboarding and crime fighting rules over the digital product. So maybe it will stimulate a little bit other players to overview what they do for proper crime activities or tracking the crime activities across digital platforms and digital banks. And maybe I will start with the third news. It also connected with the fines, and this time it's from United States. Wise hit with a two, or Wise was hit with a 4.2 million fine by multiple U.S. states for AML deficiencies. And Wise actually have a pretty rough story, I think, working with the U.S. market because 2-3 years ago, Wise unexpectedly closed an ability to onboard to United States companies, because before that you had an opportunity to be KYB and onboarded. They froze all the virtual and physical cards for US companies, and I think it's connected to their vendors. And right now we have seen that there are a lot of questions from different states for anti-money laundering rules. So what do you think about that?
Maybe this is a coincidence, and July people, I mean, a lot of companies are receiving fines only because people from regulators want to go to vacations, and they are decided to make this as a final gift. That's yeah, it's a joke. Well, this is it's a huge, so everything what happened this week, it's a huge signal that possibly we are entering in a time period where not the rapid growth will be the accent, not will be the main point, but compliance, and against compliance. We will face with some additional hiring in compliance department in these companies, maybe some shifts, and seems like these companies will invest a lot of efforts and a lot of time in solving these compliance issues and compliance and security weaknesses, or any kind of weaknesses, because Europe and Western world has to understand that we entered already in a period when we cannot be anymore, staying relaxed and just make a rapid growth for a company, for a banking institution or any institution, without taking care about the risks and so on. So yeah, this is a huge signal of the market. I think a lot of companies will take care and look. I know on this. I even observed that I some of the companies, and I make very quickly a search in internet if something is happening not only with companies, if there are some major shifts or not. But one of the shift is, for example, one of the news, by the way, not a shift, is that Deloitte is also under audit, and in UK again, and N26 changed the leadership in Spain and Portugal. I once heard of a thing from one quite a wise person. He said, like, very important changes and important thing in companies has to be done in summer when people are relaxed. And it seems like this advice was heard not only by me but also by different people from different regulators and different companies. It's a very interesting period. My expectation was that July will be quite easy one. No, July is a very interesting month. July is a very harsh month. It's a very changing month, and it reminds me that compliance is a key pillar it's a cornerstone in any financial business.
So it's true. And in this case, companies can basically select their destiny because they can do the processes properly and make sure that regulators are happy with the processes and how they do the business, or meet those issues and risks with the fines, which cost money. That's a good one. I think regulator shows and kind of trying to frame the companies to stay where they are with the need of really good processes with the compliance, with the anti-money laundering, and not do not compromise the growth over the quality. That's kind of the case. And thank you, Dima, for this episode. Is really interesting one. Thank you for highlighting the news with the Deloitte. So let's see the progress and let's see what the next week will bring for us. And thank you for listening. Please subscribe in social networks. This week we have really interesting episode with the Piotr Baron from TBI Bank. We discussed the challenges building the Southern Bank. So looking forward to see you guys on our next episodes and next interviews.
Thank you very much to
Thank you, Dima.
everyone. Wish you all a very pleasant July without fines from regulators, and have a nice weekend. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.